What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Reporters. Today we're here to talk about Bungou Stray Dogs Season 3, Episode 6, or Episode 31, whichever one you want to call it. And first and foremost, I gotta build the hype because my boy Fitzgerald is coming back next week. I almost lost it when I saw the title for next week, but we gotta get through this week first. Unfortunately, we gotta wait for that. And as far as this week goes, we got quite a bit to unpack, and I don't really want to rush through it. There was a lot of emotions in this episode, and some things were finally explored and closed out. So sorry in advance for the long recap style video in advance, and not having my camera and having to do things this way. It takes it a little bit to get used to, but I kind of like it at the same time because I can focus a little bit more. And I said this last week, so I don't want to stay on the topic too long. It's a lot different from having to make the perfect take versus having my notes, and I can take a little bit more time with things. Of course, this way takes a little bit longer to edit, but I'm enjoying it either way. Just be sure to let me know what you guys think of this format, and who knows, this might actually be the way that we do things from here. We'll just have to see. But anyway, this episode overall is about making peace and focusing on two parts, actually, because the first half of the episode dealt with Kyoka and her past, and then the second half focused on Atsushi and his. And Stray Dogs does this pretty often where one ep can feel like two episodes. I mean, we seen Kyoka and her past, and it kind of wraps up, and then we go into Atsushi's past, and then that was really the flow of the episode. They split it into two separate parts, and I think it was done pretty well. First thing we did was took some time this week to focus on a relationship between Atsushi and Kyoka, as we also take a break from the comedy that we got last week. I mean, there was still some present here, of course, but mostly it was from Lucy from the guild, as she does have some sort of attraction to Atsushi, even though she tried to act like she hates him. And Atsushi and Kyoka's ship, that's one of the things that I think we're all on board for. Lucy made a promise to Atsushi, and he made a promise to her as well, that when they were on the ship, back on Moby Dick, that he would get her out the guild, and he kind of forgot about that. So she has a grudge, and that's explained a little bit more in this episode. It was also wrapped up into a case as well, because a mysterious person hires Kyoka to deliver a briefcase to a boat. And Lucy's really just there to stir things up and to make sure she fails, since she took a page out of the document that says which boat they need to go to. Here we spend a little bit of time with Lucy inside her ability, as both her and Atsushi make amends for their promise being broken to save each other. Atsushi was busy with a Kudakawa and Fitz at the time, so it kind of slipped his mind. I'm sorry, not her mind, slipped his mind, but we can stay in that lane and say that, she kind of admits that she kind of just left as well. So even if Atsushi would have came back, she would have been gone. It was a nice soft spot in the series and truly a gem. It does make me want to root for these two to be together, but again, as noted, the ship with Kyoka and Atsushi's already sailed, and I think that's what people are rooting for and want to see the most. The biggest part of the episode is Bungou, when he appears, and the government is tracking down someone who's attacked the truck and stole some documents on Kyoka's parents, who worked in the division. I think that was a reveal we were just getting this week. So no doubt whoever made the request for her is the culprit. Since Kyoka was unaware of what her parents were doing, she didn't know why Demon Snow killed them. We're thrusted back into a flashback 3 years prior. Her father was a government spy, and her mother was the wielder of Demon Snow. So that was actually pretty interesting. I mean, we knew that, but again, we actually got into the matter of what went on this episode and just unpack that a little bit more. There was an ability user that makes blood spatter enter a foe and control their minds, which would have been a perfect ability to use against two assassins, as Kyoka witnessed both of her parents kill themselves in front of her. And when they were overcome by this ability, and her mother's last wish was for Demon Snow to protect Kyoka forever before she was struck down, that was big. That was a really powerful moment to see. And they also explain in detail why Kyoka needs the phone to control Demon Snow, because the transfer between her and her mother was only partial. It wasn't really complete due to the circumstance. She'll probably want revenge of whoever did this, and now that she knows the truth, that seems like that's going to be a type of arc that we're going to take with Kyoka as far as what we will see from her in the future. definitely a build up to her gaining full control, and I like that she got a little bit closure knowing that it wasn't her fault or Demon Snow's fault for the matter that her parents are dead. So that takes a big weight off of her shoulder on top of, the revenge. It just makes her feel a little bit easier about herself. Props to Lucy too, because she had to take Atsushi outside and break that down to her. Like, this is a big moment for her. This is a weight that's off of her shoulders that's been on her side for a while. And of course it was Port Mafia's Ozaki who set this all up all along, especially with the past of her and Kyoka share, and Ozaki actually being able to control her ability, which is practically the same thing as Demon Snow. So that was a pretty good thing as well. In the second half, Rampo sends Atsushi on the case in his stead to kind of up his detective game and to really dig deep. This is where the episode really gets deep, when we find out that Atsushi's headmaster is the person that was actually killed in this case that Rampo sent him on. And this is why I say that Dead Apple is indeed canon, and you should check it out if you haven't already, as it dived deeper into the trauma that Atsushi went through in the group home and why. It adds more weight to the emotions of Atsushi in this episode. Even though the headmaster, he appeared to be an evil man and he did do evil things, there's no saying that he didn't. Atsushi was still grateful to have had a place to stay because of him, and he kind of made a life path for Atsushi while he was there. And it was established that he always told Atsushi to hate him and not to hate himself for the tiger being within. So it was a lot to unpack there, especially if you saw Dead Apple. And watching Dead Apple would definitely give you a little bit more context on what was going on. It'll feel a little bit less random, even though they sprinkled, Atsushi's past here and there in the series. This is the first time that it was really explored with this episode. You also get a little hit from Rampo and Dazai as well, and because Daza always knows, Daza always knows what's up. Atsushi was finally able to make peace with his past as well. In fact, Dazai set this course by helping Atsushi grow and know that it's okay to feel the way that he does. It proves that in spite of what occurred with him and the headmaster, he still saw the headmaster as a father figure, and was the headmaster in his own way was trying to teach him, a little bit about life, and that Atsushi actually cared about him in spite of what was going on. Dazai was like, it's okay. Everybody has their own father figures, whether they're good or bad. Sometimes you're still going to have a little bit of feelings for them, and sometimes it comes out. It's okay to cry about that. I didn't expect this episode to be as emotional as it is, but that's the good thing about this series. Like, how when they decide to focus on a character, and they will give them an entire episode or sometimes even a whole arc to actually go through it and do it. So props to Bones again, props to Stray Dogs overall for having this episode that gave us a focus and closure on two storylines that are very big, I think, to the series. Definitely looking forward to next week, though. I can't lie, I am ready to get back to Fyodor, and we're already halfway through this core. We're on episode 6. I'm assuming we're going to get 12, and then we're going to get another 12 in a core break, even if we get 24 episodes. But the fact that we're at episode 6 now and we still haven't really got to the meat of what's going on, I feel like it will be 24, and we need to get to that. I know Stray Dogs, once it finally does get to it, it will be worth it, but I think the clock is winding and we kind of need to get there now. I mean, maybe this was the last episode that we needed, and to have this closure with Atsushi can finally take us into the next arc. We'll just have to see from there. So that was it for this episode. Again, guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, so I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. So if you like the video, go ahead and drop it a like. If you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This is not shortage of content you indulge on this channel. As I always say, you guys be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.